And we are gonna get rocking and rolling. So I'm really excited to teach this class today for a number of reasons. First of all, because I love seeing you, all the old and the new faces. Second of all, because this is the first of a new class series format that I'm launching. And basically the format, just in case you haven't seen on my website or Instagram, is every single week I am going to be focusing on a different theme in class. All of the classes are going to be unique and original in terms of the movements we do, but each week is going to have just a specific focus in fitness and movement, because one of my biggest passions is not just teaching people fitness in general, but good movement patterns, how to move well in order to improve your life as a whole. And I really wanted to take that into the virtual space. And so today is the first class, which we will be doing a focus on hips. So not just hip strength, but hip mobility, hip flexibility, rotation, and how to access your hips in movements that you may not think you would normally need though. And that's, like I said, just kind of goes into kind of my more niche interest in fitness. But let's go ahead and just dive on in, and we are going to start the way we normally do, which is with a little bit of breath. So let's have you guys lay flat on your back for me. Let your arms press down into the floor. Let's get a little bit more connected into the core. And you guys are going to take a big inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And repeat. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Continue to cycle through this breath. Feel your tailbone anchor down to the floor. With every exhale, feel your spine lengthen, creating space in between each of your vertebrae. Feel your arms press down into the floor actively so your upper back and shoulders engage. And let's go for 3 more just like that. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale. And repeat. Inhale, filling up the diaphragm, filling up the pelvic floor. And exhale. We go for 1 more. Big inhale. And exhale. Now on your inhale, take your arms out wide to T position. From here, you're going to bring the feet to parallel and start to rotate your knees over to one side. And we're just going to cycle back and forth here. And I want this to be a really intentional rotation. So we're not just flopping around, but you're pressing your feet into the floor. Feel a little bit of glute engagement, a little bit of hamstring engagement kick on. And you can let your hip come off the ground as you rotate, but try to keep your shoulders down on the floor. So you feel this internal and external rotation in your hip sockets. You feel your spine rotating through your middle and lower back. You get your obliques engaged as you rotate side to side. Let's just go for last 2. And last one. Go ahead, pull your body to center. Bring your arms back down by your hips. And now we're going to go into those little itty bitty pelvic tucks. So the pelvic tuck is pressing your lower back into the floor. You scoop your tailbone up off the floor a teeny bit. And then inhale to lengthen out, create that little bit of space under your lower back. Exhale, press the lower back down, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, lengthen back out. And we repeat. Exhale, lower abs and glutes engage. And inhale to lengthen. And one reason I really like to use pelvic tucks as just a little warm-up and activation is because it helps you create that connection from your pelvic floor into your glutes. And a lot of the time, people only have the ability to activate one or the other. They either like put all of the tension into their glutes, or they like only squeeze their lower abs. But with this pelvic tuck, it's important to get the back of the body as well as the front of the body going. Let's just go for last 2. Isolating the lower spine and the pelvis. Lengthen back out. We have a last one. Tuck the tailbone. And lengthen back out. Good. Reach the fingertips up to the ceiling. We're going to get a little bit of motion in the shoulders. Press them long and low to the hips. Inhale up. Exhale lower. And as you cycle through this, you want to feel the muscles in your mid and upper back engage. So we're not just flopping through space here. This is a very engaged movement, pulling your shoulders down away from your ears. Let's go for 3. And last 2, then we're going to add on. Last one, press long and low, drag the arms up to the ceiling, and now right foot comes to tabletop as you press the arms long and low. We're sticking with that right side, tap the toe down to the floor. Exhale. And inhale. And so now we're not only getting the obliques and the core really active, but we're working through that hip and a little bit of flexion. Exhale and inhale. Let's go for another 3. Keeping the core pulled in, last 2. Hold it up, last 1. Press your arms down to the floor. Shoot the right leg long and forward. Drag it back in. Inhale. Exhale. Every time you drag in, you bring it to tabletop position. Squeeze your glute to shoot the leg forward. Squeeze the glute. And drag. Let's go for 3. And last 2, we're about to add on. Last one, hold it out there for me. Externally rotate the foot. Toe goes out, heel goes in, then rotate it to parallel. Externally rotate. Rotate to parallel. Maybe pop your hand on your hip bone and feel that rotation happen from your glute. Let's go for 3. And 2. Last one, parallel. Pull your knee all the way in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug there. And then pop your foot down on the floor. Fingertips come back up to the ceiling. Left side. Press the arms down. Bring the knee to tabletop. Inhale, tap to the floor. Exhale. And all the while, you're pulling your upper abs inward so that your back of your rib cage is pressing down to the floor. You want to keep that teeny tiny bit of space underneath your lower back, just so much that you keep the neutral pelvis. And let's go for 3. And 2. On your last one, leg stays in tabletop. Press the arms down to the floor. Squeeze the glute, leg goes long. Drag it in. Inhale. Exhale. And as you cycle through this, you feel the glutes engage, your inner thighs are active so your knees don't start to splay out to the side. Inhale, exhale. Let's go for 3. And 2. Hold it out, last one. Externally rotate. Rotate to parallel. Turn your leg out. Rotate. Again, maybe pop your hands on your hip. Feel this rotation happening from that hip socket. We have 3. And 2. Last one, parallel. Pull that knee all the way in towards your chest. And then go ahead and pop your feet back on the floor. Make sure the feet come to parallel, just about in line with the sits bones. Pulling the core in and up. Now we're going to use that lovely little pelvic tuck that we did for warm-up. You're going to press your lower back into the floor, squeeze your glutes, roll your hips up, 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 up. Press your back into the floor. And then roll yourself back down. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades together. Roll down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale to lengthen your tailbone. And then exhale, repeat. Tuck the tailbone, rolling up, 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 squeezing your glute. Glutes up, plural, squeeze both glutes. And then roll back down from the upper back to the middle back. Pull your abs in lower back, tailbone touches down and come back to that neutral. And exhale, repeat. Squeeze the glutes. Check in with your knees. Make sure your knees are staying parallel as you work through this. Check in with the back of your neck. Make sure it's nice and long. Pulling the core in. We're going to go for 2 more. Exhale. We should be getting a lot in the glutes and hamstrings right now. Dig your heels into the floor. And then roll yourself back down, keeping the hips even as you work here. Inhale. And exhale. Squeezing the glutes up. Good. Pull the core in and up and start just giving me little pulses from the glutes. Up an inch, down an inch. Lengthen your spine out. We have 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll yourself back down to the floor and pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Nice little bit of warm up there, guys. All right, so go ahead, pop your feet down on the floor and find that neutral spine for me. And so for those of you who may not know, neutral spine is when your tailbone, your sacrum, is resting heavy on the ground. You can glide your hands underneath your lower back, but you can pull your upper abs and your upper back into the floor. So the only place that you really actually have space is right underneath the lower back. Pull your shoulders down to the ground. On your inhale, fingertips reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, peel the head, neck, and shoulders out without tucking your tailbone. So you'll probably find that you can't come up nearly as high without rounding your tailbone like that. All right? So what we're avoiding is creating that little imprint. You want to keep that little bit of space underneath your lower back. If this is new for you and it feels kind of wonky, don't worry about it. That every first time feels a little weird. If it feels uncomfortable, maybe then it's okay to go into a little imprint and press your back into the floor. But right now we're pulling the abs inward and our pelvic floor is engaging to help stabilize the hips. Let's go for another 2, and then we're going to add on. Last one. All right, chest lift, pick the right foot into tabletop, lower back down, left foot to tabletop. And your primary goal here is to keep both of your hips even on the floor as you cycle through this. So you don't want to be scrunching up your hips to one side versus the other. You want to be keeping the tailbone down for last 4. Keep it going. And 3. Abs pull in tight. 2. And last one, lower back down. Take the hands behind the head. Keep that beautiful neutral spine we were just working in. And pull the knees into tabletop one at a time. So now you've got your fingertips just resting behind the head. The chest is open, but you're pulling the upper abs to the floor. You have a little bit of space underneath your lower back. And let's go ahead, just slightly rotate over to one side, gluing the knees together. And exhale, pull back through center. And opposite side. Gluing the knees together, pull back through center. So the interesting thing about this movement, as we cycle through it, is that a lot of people think it's like an 100% oblique movement. And though it is a lot of obliques to help stabilize everything in your core and your rotators, it is also very much about the hips. And that's where the keeping your knees together element comes into play here. So if you were to glide your knees apart, you would see that my pelvis actually starts to shift out of alignment. And you can even try it maybe once, like shift your knees, let them slide apart, and feel how your hip starts to kind of crunch up. When you do that, it actually is just basically bringing your hips out of alignment, which translates up into your spine. So the more you can keep the knees, ankles, and thighs glued together, the more alignment you have in the hips, and the harder it is for your obliques. Let's go for last 2. See if we can get a little deeper. And last one, Pulling back through center. Let's do heels together, toes apart. Actively squeezing your heels together here so you get this great inner thigh, this great pelvic floor engagement. On your exhale, peel the head, neck, and shoulders up, chest lift. Lower back down. Exhale, chest lift. Keeping that space underneath your lower back, even if you find you can't peel up quite as high. Squeeze the inner thighs together, or excuse me, squeeze the heels together, activate the inner thighs. We have last two. Get ready to hold it up. Last one, hold it. Shoot the legs long and forward. Heels together, toes apart. Drag them back in. And repeat, heels together, toes apart. Drag them back in. Keep pulling your belly button in towards your spine. Keeping the elbows wide. We have last three. Squeeze your heels together. Feel your glutes engaged. Last one. And shoot the legs long and forward. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. And lower back down. Woo. Rock the knees side to side. All right, guys, I think it's time to switch positions, yeah? Let's go ahead and have you all lengthen your legs long towards the end of the mat. Pulling your core in and up. You're gonna reach the arms long and up overhead. And I want you guys to imagine that you're holding a beach ball, a huge beach ball in your hands. So that when you curl the head, neck, and shoulders up, you have to round super deep into the spine. Imagine you're hugging that beach ball. Keep the back of the neck long, the shoulders down. And then you lengthen up to the top of the movement. Hold that beach ball as you tuck your tailbone. Roll yourself down. Pull the core in. Reach the beach ball up overhead. And exhale, curl up with the beach ball, but not letting your shoulders round forward. You keep the shoulders down. Back of the neck is long. And then sit up nice and tall. And repeat, tuck from the tailbone first. And you guys will notice that when you start tucking from the tailbone, that you actually get more lower ab, pelvic floor engagement that way. So it doesn't just automatically go into your lower back. So let's break that down. Tuck the tailbone. Roll here. Feel that engagement in the lower abs. Feel your glutes engaged. Continue to roll down. One vertebrae at a time. Inhale, reach up overhead. And now same thing on the way up. You tuck the chin, roll up, pulling the core in. Connect with the upper abs, middle abs, lower abs. Reach it long and forward. And then stack the spine from the lumbar spine and up. Last one here. Tucking down, pulling the shoulders back with you. Inhale. And exhale, tuck in forward. Reach over the bow. Come all the way to this forward fold. And flex the feet or point the toes, whichever makes you most comfortable. But take a few inhales and exhales here. And I don't need to tell you guys the benefit of the forward fold stretch for your hips. This is amazing for the hamstrings, the glutes. If you wanted to bring your heels together and toes apart, you would actually even be able to get a little bit farther to the outside of the hips, hitting that TFL and your IT bands. Basically just these big sections that are right on the outside. Roll yourself up to a seated position. Bring your hands back behind your body. Pull your core in and up. Keep your heels together, toes apart. So I'm in a little Pilates V right now. Before you go anywhere, I want you to lengthen your spine super tall. Not so that you're arching your chest to the ceiling, but so that you've got this great long spine. Keeping your chest uplifted, you're gonna start to bend the elbows. And then press back up again. And we're just gonna do a few here, because I wanna warm up into this movement. Inhale, and we're gonna build. Exhale. Let's just go for 2 more. Hold it back, last one. Hold the elbow bend. Stay really strong in the triceps as you pick your right foot up into tabletop. Left foot comes to meet it. We're in external rotation. Heels together, toes apart. And then shoot the right leg long and forward. Drag it back in. Left leg long and forward. And I want you guys not just to get connected to the quad and the inner thigh, but get in to those lower abs. Those pelvic floor muscles are your stabilizers right now. Lots of breath, lots of control through the arms and the chest. Let's go for 3 and 2. Get ready, we've got to build. Last one, heels together. Legs come to wide V. Drag them together. Wide V, together. We've got quads and thighs. Drag it in, inner thigh. Legs, lower abs, inner thigh. 3. Arms are strong. Last 2. Last one. Bring your heels together, lower them down, and push yourself up and forward. Lengthen the arms, and then come forward into forward fold. Beautiful job, guys. So we started off class really strong with a lot of great warm-up, with a lot of great mobility, and a lot of core work. So let's go ahead and switch gears. You guys already know one of my ultimate favorite positions, cat-cow. So we're pulling the core in and up, starting in a nice neutral spine. And neutral spine here is going to be keeping that teeny tiny little bit of curvature in the lower back. When I say curvature, I don't mean here. But you just create that sense of length down your lower back. Shoot your tailbone to the opposite side of the room. Shoulders are pulling down away from the ears. On your exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone, squeeze your glutes, roll your spine up in this beautiful cat pose, and then keep your lower abs engaged as you inhale, roll up your spine, eyes come forward. And as always, I've taught this one a million times, but you guys know that when I teach, I always lead from the tailbone. So we're not just plopping the chest up and down to the floor and ceiling. We're really moving through each vertebrae, emphasizing the pelvis, because that's our start position. Pulling the core in and up. Think about lengthening your spine as you shift through these. Let's go for 2 more. Moving up each vertebrae individually. And inhale. Lots and lots of work in the hips and the pelvis here. And then last one, tuck in the tailbone, pull the core in. And then eyes come forward as you come into this cow pose. And then we're going to bring your body back to a neutral position. As we look over the left shoulder, bring your eyes to the left hip. And then look over the shoulder, bring your eyes to the right hip. And as you cycle through these, you want to be moving your hip towards your face. So it's not just coming from the upper body, it's also coming from the lower body. Let's cycle through for another 4. Pulling the core in for 3. And last 2. Last one, enjoy that nice big stretch here because you're going to find a neutral spine. Pull the core in and up, one foot goes back, other foot goes back to meet it, and we find a plank. Pull the core in, keep the collarbones open. Squeeze your glutes here. Your hips are very much involved in the plank. People kind of forget about it, but you've got to squeeze your glutes to help activate the lower abs, stabilizing through the pelvis, and then tuck your chin, roll your spine so that you're almost like a big ocean wave. Send your hips back towards the ceiling and find this beautiful down dog position. Let your heels sink down to the floor. Pull the core in and up. And now, when you push back to high plank, bring your right knee towards your elbow. Keep the hips uplifted, nice and even. Send the leg back, tuck the chin, roll up ocean wave, come to that down dog. Push the body back forward, high plank, left knee comes long and forward. And as you cycle through this, your big emphasis here is on this great articulation, this lengthening of the spine. And as you come forward, it's about keeping your hips really stable and centered. So you're not drooping one hip down to the floor. Find a nice fluid pace as you work through this. You can go faster than I am. You can go slower than I am, but you should go with a lot of control. Let's go for last two. Pressing back. Find that beautiful position. And then last one. Bring yourself to this high plank. Pull the core in and up. Chest is nice and open for 3, 2, drop the knees. Go ahead, sit back into your child's pose. Beautiful job, guys. Let the head, neck, and shoulders relax. Let your arms reach long and forward, and feel your hips open up as you sit back into this stretch. Good. Continue to breathe into that while I just nonchalantly adjust my ponytail. And whenever you guys are ready, you're going to join me up in this upright seated position. And for this next movement, we've got a couple options for your guys' comfort. One option, first of all, is you can always double roll your mat under your knees just in case the kneecaps start to feel too much. You can tuck your toes, or you can leave your feet flat on the floor. Tucking the toes gives you a little more support. Leaving them flat is probably the most advanced version of what we're going to do. So, like I mentioned, you're going to start down here with me. Feet are going to be in line with your sits bones, so the knees are just a little bit separate. Heels are right underneath your bum. And before we go anywhere, we're going to stack the spine, which means you're pulling these lower abs inward, trying to compress your middle abs, your upper abs to your spine. You keep the heart high and the collarbones open. Fingertips are reaching long and forward. And when you move, you're not going to rock forward and break this beautiful alignment. You're going to dig your shins down into the floor. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your quads, lengthen your body up to the ceiling. And then you're going to do the same thing on the way down. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads, eccentric motion. And then send your body straight back up. And then sit your body straight back down, keeping the heart high. The collarbones are open. We're not rocking back and forth here and breaking that beautiful alignment or pelvic control. You're keeping this uplift, lift, lift, and connecting that lift from your core into the strength in your quads and glutes. Let's go for another 3. I know it's a movement that looks so simple, and then you do it, and it's like, oh my God. And last 2. Lowering down, thinking opposition, lifting as you lower. Last one. Hold it up here for me. Now, if you want to tuck your toes for this next one, go for it. You're going to inhale, tilt your body backward, create this beautiful long line. And then exhale, pull forward. Careful not to start to reach your shoulders forward here. You want to keep this great line, engaging the quads and the glutes. Let's go for 3. And last 2. Get ready, hold it back, last one. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull back forward and lower back down towards your knees. Beautiful job, guys. All right, we're gonna change the movement just a teeny tiny bit. I'm gonna face you all for this one. You're gonna bring your feet together, knees slightly wider than the hips, and now we're gonna do pretty much the same movement, but an external rotation. And this external rotation means we're hitting more of the outer glutes than we are the glute medius, that huge glute muscle in the back of your bum. So same setup with the arms, roll the shoulders back, stack the spine the exact same way you did. Pull the core inward, upper abs engage. On your exhale, drive your shins into the floor, squeeze the glutes, open up the hips, and then go ahead, sit yourself back down. We're not tilting forward as you raise up, 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 up. Ooh, hello, side glutes. Lower back down. If you're getting any pinching in your side glute, or if you have any sort of like tear or anything, I would recommend closing the knees just a little bit more, because sometimes this external rotation can get a little gnarly. Inhale to lower. Exhale. But there are other things that we can do to create that same sense of strength, just in different positions. Let's go for last one. We're gonna sit up, 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 nice and tall. Hold this position here. Open the arms wide to the side. Keep this great core connection. Inhale. Open the arms, reach to the side. Exhale, back to center. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other as you cycle through this great side bend. Inhale. And exhale. Carefully, you're not collapsing your spine down here. You want to create this great sense of lift, engaging the inner thighs, feeling that connection to the lower abs. Let's go for 3 more. And last 2. And last 1. Come to center and go ahead, sit yourself back down. Woo. Let's come off the ankles and we're gonna take a quick butterfly stretch. Bringing your feet in front of you. So we just did a lot of great work connecting the glutes to the core. And that's such a great movement because it mimics standing in a lot of ways. So it mimics creating this great sense of core control and uplift as if you were standing. But it helps you get a little bit deeper into your glutes. Go ahead and roll yourself up. And let's go ahead, bring yourself back to this all fours position, and we're just using this as a transition. Bringing your body up into a high plank. Pull your core in and up, open the chest. Start to walk your hands in towards your feet without shifting your hips side to side. So let's do that one more time just for good measure. Walk the hips forward, connect to the lower abs, trying to keep them as still as possible, and then walk your hands back and towards your feet again. Keeping the hips as still as possible. Find that connection to your feet, bend your knees as much as needed, and then start to roll yourself up to standing, 1 vertebrae at a time. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. We dive straight back down again. Imagine you've got that beach ball and you're curling over that beach ball. You're curling over that beach ball. Feel your glutes and your hamstrings engage here to help you keep your hips right over your heels. And then bend your knees as much as you need to as you squeeze the hamstrings, the glutes. You start to lengthen the tailbone, the middle spine, upper spine, arms reach all the way up overhead. We go for 2 more. Curling over the beach ball from your chest, from your middle abs, from your lower abs. You touch down as low as you can go. Bend your knees as needed. And then grind your heels into the floor. Engage the hamstrings, the glutes, the middle back, upper back. Reach up. Exhale. Ooh, this is always the one that gets my heart rate up. I don't know what it is. So much stabilization as you focus on keeping your hips over your heels. And then you roll up, squeezing the back of the legs, squeezing the glutes, the lower abs, the middle abs, upper abs. Reach up. And then let's go ahead and take a breath. So I'm going to stay in this orientation because we're going to do a little bit of single leg work. And I cannot emphasize the benefit of single leg work on your hips. Every single day, every step you take is single leg work. And nobody thinks about it this way. We all just think we're moving, willy-nilly. But single leg work is extremely hard because you have to work twice as hard to keep your pelvis stable. So I'm going to set this up facing sideways. I may do a few facing you. Pull the core in and up. You want to think about squeezing your glutes so you get that nice neutral pelvis from the get-go. You don't want your back to be arching back here. Make sure both feet are in parallel. We'll start by keeping hands on the hips as you bend the knees, lower yourself down into this lunge. Press yourself back up. Inhale. Keeping about 60% of the weight on your front heel. Keeping about 40% of the weight on your back toe. Inhale. Keep your hands on your hip bones so you can make sure they're staying nice and stable. If you feel any rocking around here, You know that you have to pull the core in more and keep the glutes a little more engaged. Let's go for 3. And last 2, and now we've got a challenge move coming your way. Last 1, hold it down for just a moment. Stand up nice and tall, bring that back foot through. So you're in this nice tabletop position, hello. Send that leg long and back, and then lower down into the lunge. Let's do 3 more. Stand up tall, send it long and through. Squeeze the glute as you send it long and back. Come into that lunge. Stand up, last 2. You might be getting a lot in that front foot right now. That's all stabilizers. So tap a little bit more into that glute. Lower back down. Stand up nice and tall and go ahead and shake it out. Nice work, guys. Ooh, I was starting to get a lot in my right foot. Maybe you guys felt that kind of like sort of crampy sensation. I'm just going to go ahead and face the opposite direction. That's all the stabilizers trying to work in your hip, but taking over down in your calf. Super, super wild when that happens. All right, let's set it up for the opposite side. Pulling your core in and up. Same exact setup here as we go ahead and lunge down and stand back up tall. Now, most of you guys know my left hip is my special hip, so this one may be a little bit wobblier compared to my opposite side, but we're going to give it a go. Make sure your shoulders are pulling down away from your ears. Inhale, exhale, keeping 60% of your weight in that front heel. Let's go for 3. And last 2. Hold it down, last 1. Shift the weight forward. Pull that right knee through, tabletop. And then take a big step back. Bend that front knee. Bring it back down into the lunge. And repeat. Shift it up and through. Ooh, hello, balance. Pull your core in and up. Send it backwards. And repeat. Keeping the hands on the hips, because theoretically, your hips should be able to stay really neutral here for these last 2. Balance. And let's go for last 1. Pushing up, 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 up. Bring it back down into that lunge. And stand up nice and tall. Shake the legs out a little bit. Super nice work, you guys. All right, let's bring it back down to the floor, because it would not be a hip week unless every single class I did included a little bit of sideline. But I hope you guys liked that little bit of single leg. I hope it was challenging, particularly for balance, because that's where the concept of pelvic stability is going to come in. So now we're going to take a little bit of sideline to end the day. You're going to pull the abs in. Try to get some space between your waist and the floor. That's how much you're pulling your obliques in and out. You want to make sure your heels are about in line with your glutes. On your exhale, heels together, knees apart, we clamshell. And as you go into this clamshell, I want you to really emphasize squeezing this outer glute to create the knee lift. One really great way to make sure that you're not compensating with your obliques is to pop your finger like kind of right to the inside of this hip bone. And if that muscle is bulging out, that typically means you're compensating with your obliques and your back. So you can pop your hands right here, and like right now I'm squeezing my abs in super tight and I've got this like great oblique bulge, but that also means that I just shifted my pelvis in a way that it shouldn't be working. So you want to try and keep this really neutral and keep this outer glute really involved. Let's go for 3 and 2. Last 1. Now we parallel lift. We lift the knee and ankle, lower. Lift, lower. Exhale, inhale. Pulling the abs inward towards your spine. Keeping the waistline uplifted. We have 3 and 2. Hold it up, last 1. Now, a little bit of stability as we create these little circles. Your job is to not let your pelvis move around. Just let this hip socket roll around in its socket. Let's go for 3, 2, 1, and switch directions. And we switch. Whew, should be getting some deep side glute work going on here. Still pulling the core in. Let's go for 3, 2, hold the leg steady as you shoot it long and away. And drag it back in. Careful not to let the knee droop down to the floor. Keeping the knee and ankle at the same height. We have last 3. And last 2. And last 1. Pull the knee in, lower it down, tap out the glute. All right, let's take a quick figure 4 stretch before we go to the opposite side. You're gonna take that left heel, cross it over your right knee. If this is enough of a stretch, you can leave it there, or you can pull it into your chest. Another moment where if you know that you've had like a torn labrum or anything, you can just pull the knee straight into your chest because this will be a little bit less aggressive on that hip. But no matter what, you're gonna just take a little bit of a stretch here. Figure 4 is one of my all-time favorite hip stretches. This is like one of the greatest things you can do to your hips, I think, because we all get way too tight sitting down all day. And we'll take it for a few more seconds. And then slowly start to bring yourself around to the opposite side. And stacking the knees and ankles, pulling the core in and up. Good. Creating some nice stability. We start nice and simple with those clamshells. Digging your heels together like you're trying to squeeze a $100 bill in between your heels. So you can really emphasize that outer glute connection here. Still pulling your core in and trying to like lift your obliques away from the floor. Good, keep it going. That core connection is the easiest one to forget about. Let's go for 3 and 2. Last one, lower down and we parallel lift and lower. Lift and lower. Again, trying to find that kind of softness here. You do want to pull the core inward, but you don't want to be aggressively like squeezing and punching your abs out. And you'll feel that kind of overtness in your oblique down here by your hip bone. Let's go for 3. I know no one thinks about their obliques being all the way down here, but they actually do wrap that deep. Let's go for 2. Hold it up, last one. Let's create those little hip circles. Keep it going. Little itty bitty circles for 3, 2, 1, and switch directions. Keep it going. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it steady. Shoot the leg long and away. Drag it back in. Shoot the leg long and away. Drag it back in. Keeping that knee at hip height. Don't let it droop down to the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go for last 3. Whew. And last 2. Hold it there, last one. Hold it. Breathe, breathe, breathe for 3, 2, 1. And lower the hip back down. Go ahead and tap out your glute. And let's go ahead and bring it to our figure 4 stretch. Bringing the right ankle on top of the left knee. Pull that knee into your chest if you'd like to get a little deeper into it. And breathe into that. Feel your tailbone stay heavy on the floor. Go ahead and pop both feet down on the floor. Take your arms wide to T, and let's rotate our knees just like we did when we started class today. And as you cycle through these rotations, see if you can make any connections to where you may be feeling a little more fluid Maybe seeing where you feel the most stiff or the most sore. Let's go for another 2. And last one. Take a big breath in center, inhale. Exhale. And that is going to be the day. Super nice job, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the format. That was a lot of fun to teach. Like I mentioned, every class this week is going to be hip and glute themed. Every single class is going to look different, which is going to be really exciting. Next week, the theme is spinal flow. So we're going to be working a lot more on kind of creating connections through the spine and working the spine in a whole bunch of different ways. So in case you can't get back to another class this week, next week is going to be a lot of fun. But I've got my next class tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. and another one on Saturday at 10. So if you guys want to hop into another one, we're going to go through a little bit more stability work, a little bit more balance, more strength. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys. Oh, all right. Well, I am going to